I want to circle back to you, like helping couples out. What would you say is the number one thing that is causing relationships to break in Christian homes?
Man, the number one thing, I think if I could pinpoint to one thing, there's a lot of things. I would say unhealthy expectations.
Unhealthy expectations.
Unhealthy expectations.
Could you give me an example on a man who would have an unhealthy expectation?
When I got married, we didn't have intercourse before, and because of the porn, like I thought I was marrying a Christian porn star. Like I thought she was going to do everything I wanted in the bedroom, and it was just going to be on. And she was a virgin. And it, without getting too graphic, like it was hard initially for her, like physically painful for a while. And so I had very unhealthy expectations. I thought that instead of dealing with the remnants of the issues from my childhood, I thought I would just get a magic bullet and like, boom, now we get to have sex and everything is great. And it's like, nah, you still have to work towards making that a healthy rhythm in your life. And that was an unhealthy expectation on my part. Unhealthy expectations for women in terms of, hey, like, am I supposed to work a job when after I push out a baby indefinitely? Are you going to provide? Are you going to step up? Or like, what is our life going to look like? Unhealthy expectation in terms of who takes care of the yard, who takes care of the cars, who makes sure there's oil changes. So I think a lot of times that we don't have balanced expectations because we don't really. There's a flip side to confession that I want to come back to, which is the positive aspect of confession. Like we confess our sins and our shortcomings, right? James says that confession, the prayer of a righteous person does much. But I also think there's the inverse of confession, which is like, what is our values? What is our mission? What is our vision as a couple? What is our vision as a family? What are those ethos around these things? So for example, me and my wife have always had the value of health and fitness. Before I got into strength training, we always were like, we're going to take care of each other for each other, right? So some people don't have that value, or they have that value, but they never communicate it. And if someone gains weight, if a woman has a baby and she's dealing with the aspects of what it feels like to push out a human and everything that changes, and then the dude is like, well, what's up, baby? Like, you're getting a little, and it's like unhealthy expectations. Like, we don't communicate this. So frustration is unmet expectations. Frustration is a deficit of, I wanted this, but I didn't get this. Now I'm frustrated. Frustration can turn into resentment. Resentment can do really bad things to any relationship.
Would you say that that's the job of the man? I feel like the way that people describe leadership is like, I'm going to go here and you're going to follow me. But I think that has to do like more in the mental realm. Like I have what I feel I need to get done. But before I get married or have a partner, I would express to her, hey, these are what I'm trying to accomplish on earth. Does this excite you? Is this a path that you want to take? Also, like, you got to know, I will never love you more than the Lord. And I think that people have this idea in their head. They're like, oh, we'll grow together. But it's hard to do that if your roots from your foundations of life were completely different. When people say, what is her father like? What is her mother like? People are like, well, what are you going to judge her mother and father? No, but I would like to know where her garden is and where her fruit came from. What if does her family have addiction? Mine does. Are they diabetic? Mine is. Like, so we have to put out a roadmap. Be like, all right, well, we don't want our kids to be diabetic, and I don't want to die from that. And also, like, I got to make sure I don't get fat. I also make sure that I'm still attracted to you. There's a lot of hard conversations that men don't want to have, but like, you got to have these hard conversations because the female in the relationship is not going to want to start that conversation. So you got to sit her down. Like I made a joke last week. I go, hey, man, what the heck? I got fat. Why don't you tell me? And she starts laughing. She's like, what do you want me to tell you? I was like, bro, I'm on keto or I'm hitting a training sessions and like I'm trying to get my body back. And I make a joke. I'm like, yo, I got to be attractive to you. Like you can't look at me one day and think of my old body. You got to be attracted to who I am now, because if I came home, yeah, I could provide a roof, but if I'm not providing a partner or somebody who she could confine to or like talk to or breathe with, like, Another man could replace me there. And a lot of people are like, well, no, that would never happen. No. It happens all the time. You want to keep your wife, fight for your wife. Don't get lazy with your wife. You got to make sure that you're still, like she always says, we get busy, but we got to make sure we take each other to dinners.
That's good.
We see each other every day. I could have easily been like, bro, we're with each other every minute. Well, you don't got to go to dinners. But like, no. I don't got to take my work out on her. And I think what happens is, a man and a woman will take their own earthly desires or their realms and get in the way of each other as partners. But when man and woman get married, they become one. So if it's my money, it's our money. If it's our problem, it's our problem. So we have to get to the solution together. We can't fight each other. We have to fight the world. And if the house is divided, we cannot stand. So the 3 pillars that we have, most importantly, is God is always above us. I lead the home, and we always pray together.
That's good.
Always.
That's good.
Those are the ones that we're beginning with. I'm obviously gonna fail you as a leader, and I hope you know that.
Well, I'm gonna fail you at times too. You know.
No, that's not allowed. We discussed that. See that we brought that up. I said, as a wife, you can't fail me, not even once. If you do, then I get to go date other women. It's a thing. We have it in a contract.
One of the things that might be controversial, but it might be liberating for certain people. One of the ways I initiated that in a very practical sense, and again, this might be very controversial, was that when I started dating my wife, I knew some of her guy acquaintances and guy friends. So one of the expectations I had was like, nah, we're not doing opposite friends. That's it. That's done. I don't have any female friends. I don't text with any girls. I don't go to coffee with any girls. And all these dudes that are my friends, that are your friends, they all want to smash. Like, I know these guys. I know how they think. I know how they're wired. And so that was like no opposite gender friends in that. Now we have.
Was she upset with that?
No. She was like, okay.
It's a common sense thing.
Yeah. We have friends that, like, I'll have like acquaintances from music stuff or from YouTube stuff. Lila Rose is a friend of mine. She runs liveaction.org. Lila Rose will come over and she'll be around my wife. We'll be hanging out and then we'll do a podcast. Me, her, there's guys in the room, but like me and Lila Rose aren't like going to get coffee, you know, like I think that's what you're getting at.
Listen, here's the thing that I grew up as an Assyrian man, right? Just because you're not doing anything doesn't mean that other people can't think you're not doing anything. And you got to show respect to your loved ones. Like my mom would say, hey, don't hang out with those people because you're going to make us look bad if you're going on and doing stupid things. And I'm like, all right, so I won't do stupid things. I want to represent my family, right?